Pat McGuinness, National Housing Party. This is my response to Nigel Farage's big speech today about his mass deportations announcement of illegal immigrants. Now, obviously, we all want these people deported who came on the dinghies, but I'm going to unpack what he said, and I find him to be very dishonest. He's extremely dishonest. He's misrepresented what one of his MPs said, which was Rupert Lowe, and also we've got to give a lot of credit to the guy who interviewed him. I can't remember his name. I think he's from GB News, but he interviewed Nigel Farage and put it to him. He didn't say anything about legally settled migrants. He said illegal immigrants. Are you going to deport all the illegals? And Nigel Farage specifically said, no, it's not possible. And he's deceiving the public again. It's like he's a very weak politician. We're in this mess because of people like him. And when he was running UKIP, they clearly had it in their manifesto. They want to stay signed up to the 1951 UN Refugee Convention. Hundreds of thousands of refugees have come into this country. You have to excuse me, I'm on a train bridge. I'm in an area of Kentish Town called Lismore Circus, just by Queen's Crescent there. So let's try and unpack some of the stuff he said. So this guy who interviewed him, and Farage kind of was really arrogant about it. And if it wasn't for X and Twitter, I don't think Farage would have even made that announcement today of deporting hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants, which needs to happen. He's dishonest. He said that Rupert Lowe, he didn't say Rupert Lowe, he said one of his MPs, which presumably is Rupert Lowe. I'd never heard Rupert Lowe say he wants to deport a whole ethnic group of people from this country who've settled here legally. He's never said that. And Farage has said he said that, and all I ever saw Rupert Lowe say was he wants to deport every single illegal, which everyone wants. So he's dishonest. And he's misrepresenting people to save his political career. And he, like I said already, he's very weak, and he's not going to save this country. Years and years ago in UKIP, they should have been saying no more refugees. Our refugee statement for our party is, in an ideal world, refugees should be temporarily helped. They should never be given citizenship and a passport. And this is where the problem started in 1951. So I personally think they've been reading our policy, our immigration policy, because we've got all these things in our policy that if they take the opportunity to leave the country, they won't get the 3-year prison sentence. But Farage said today, he said that he wants to give them £2,000 to leave. Well, if they're illegals, Farage, what the hell are you going to give them money for? In our policy, if they don't take the offer of leaving our country voluntarily and giving their DNA, photograph and fingerprints at an airport or seaport when they leave to avoid the 3-year prison sentence, if they don't do that and we do catch up with them, they're going to get the 3 years, and then they're going to have to pay us to leave £70,000 to get out of the detention centre. And before people start saying, oh, what are you going to put him in prison for? It costs us money. We're going to build thousands of detention centres to be later on turned into social housing for our own people. And this is another thing that he did not mention in his announcement. We need thousands and thousands of detention centres built, or prisons, to deal with this problem. They're still not saying, you know, they're gonna. Well, they did actually. They did, yeah. So they said they're banned for life. They're going to be deported and banned for life. That's good, yeah. But the problem is, within the speech, he's doubled down. We will take immigrants in who integrate and give them full citizenship. We will take refugees like the Afghan interpreters and give them full citizenship. This is why we're in this mess. This is why our country is unrecognisable. And he still will not say we need to stop it all. He won't even say this refugee convention of 1951 was a complete mistake. He's saying we will de-apply it for 5 years. Going to de-apply it for 5 years. Why de-apply it? Need to get rid of it, and we need to make it clear to the world we're not giving citizenship anymore to refugees. The party's over. Yeah, if we was in the position to help, maybe we might be able to, but we're trillions in debt. We're in a housing crisis. We've helped more than enough refugees. But he cannot bring himself to say this. He cannot do it. And he's just not the person who's going to sort all this out. We're in this mess because of him. He helped destroy the BNP. He helped destroy the BNP. He's expelling people from his party for saying things he's now saying. And like I said before, if it wasn't for Twitter and people challenging him, I've been leaving comments underneath Nigel Farage's Twitter account constantly. We need to leave the UN Refugee Convention. We need to stop accepting. Finally, they've come out and said that, but it's not enough. It's all half-heartedly. It's a half-hearted response. Like I said in a previous video, Nigel Farage is half-hearted, and half-hearted campaigns are not going to sort the problem out. I mean, look how many years have been wasted with his politically correct, multicultural, pro-immigration, pro-refugee UKIP. So, and another thing, he's now created another party, as in Advance UK. Look, we're the National Housing Party. I am fully aware we're a tiny, small party, but we are genuine. We're Christian British nationalists, you know, and we call anyone with our views to stand in your local area for local election. Nigel Farage has split the right. So you've got Advance UK about to launch, and if he just did all this, what he's doing now, before that wouldn't have happened. Nigel Farage is the problem. People got to understand this. And he's now chosen a woman to be Mayor of London instead, and she's not a Christian either. So the guy is just a half-hearted politician. He just swings when the wind turns, and this is not what winners do. It's a big sign of weakness. So GB News asked him a good question. You know, they said to him, you said previously it's impossible to deport all this amount of people, and now all of a sudden it is possible. So he doesn't know what he's talking about. And they use this Zia Youssef as their main guy on the stage. I mean, how many people could have had Rupert Lowe there? A proper Englishman. But they got some paper Brit representing the so-called saviour to this nation. And I'm not against ethnic minorities taking a position if there's no one else to do it, right? Because it is hard to find people, but Reform UK have got millions of people they could pick, and they go and pick someone like that. And he came out of nowhere. Apparently he donated millions of pounds, and he's just bought his way in there. So I'm not convinced by this latest announcement. And you know, they repeatedly double down to say they're going to continue accepting asylum seekers. They keep saying this thing, yeah? They keep saying, if you come across on a dinghy, you will not be able to claim asylum. So that means they're going to keep taking asylum claims. And another reporter asked, well, what about the women and children? What are you going to do with them? He hasn't got any answers for this, and he's not going to say, well, they're going to be charged with a criminal offence, because they should be. Until the word gets out, it's criminal offence to enter our country after we've left all the conventions. But he don't want to leave the convention. He wants to de-apply it for 5 years. And he keeps saying they're all illegals. This is another big deception, what he shouldn't be doing. They have not broken any laws. This is why they're all in the country, because they claimed asylum, and he just refuses to acknowledge that. So, you know, of course we want all those dinghy people deported, yeah? But he just hasn't got it in him to say no more passports to foreigners, whether they're refugees or immigrants. He's going to continue it, and he's going to keep the door open a little bit, and we're not going to solve this problem until we completely shut the door. It needs to be slammed shut to save this nation. And as I've said before, Jesus Christ built this nation, and only Jesus Christ can save this nation. Acts 17:26, Christ is King. Thanks for watching.